doing it, any knowledge of the meeting, which of course is completely untrue. Joining me now, MSNBC legal analyst Paul Butler, Seema Iyer of Court TV, and MSNBC contributor Malcolm Nance, author of The Plot to Destroy Democracy. Paul, I'm going to start with you first. If the blocked calls were to a gentleman who was attempting to help build Trump Tower in Moscow, how does that exonerate Donald Trump?
It does not. What we see is that Don Jr. was talking to folks who had all these connections with Russia, including Laura Buer and Paul Manafort, during a time when Don Jr. testified under oath that he wasn't dealing with the Russians and business.
Could that be a crime if he lied in that testimony?
It's the same crime that Michael Cohen was prosecuted for that Roger Stone was prosecuted for. The significance for Mueller is to prove that Don Sr., the president, knew about the Russian meeting in advance. And what do we know? We know Jr. gets this call, dirt on Hillary, I love it. He sets up the meeting. Right after he sets up the meeting, then candidate Donald Trump at a campaign rally says, I got all this dirt on the Clintons coming. Right. The meeting happens, the dirt pans out. Trump never makes that speech. And so to a prosecutor, this stinks to high heaven.
It sounds like conspiracy, right? Is what it would be.
Yes, a conspiracy to cover up the truth.
And so here's the question, Seema, because the question is to cover up what truth, I think, is what you might say, right? Because here are all the contacts. Donald Trump had at least 6 contacts with Russians before the Donald Trump Jr. had at least 14, Kushner had at least 6, and that's per the New York Times. So you have all of these people dissembling, lying about talking to Russians. That's one piece. The second piece is that it's clear that since the 80s, Donald Trump Sr. has wanted to build a Trump Tower in Moscow. If all they were trying to cover up, if all of this dissembling and lying was just because they didn't want to admit that they were still trying to build a Trump Tower while he was running for president, what plausible explanation would there be for why they would lie about that? Because it's not illegal to try to build a condo in Moscow.
Exactly. But here we are. I haven't been on your show in 7 months, and we're in exactly the same place. We're still not there yet. And here is why, okay? According to Giuliani, Mueller is saying, I'm not going to indict the president. But why? Why wouldn't you indict the president?
That's according to Giuliani. The part where you said according to Giuliani,
okay,
we don't know if that's true. Right.
But, okay, maybe not. But why not yet? Why isn't this happening? Nothing in the Constitution prevents a president from being indicted. Everybody is talking about these DOJ guidelines, okay? The guidelines from the Nixon period and then reaffirmed during Clinton. But those guidelines were specific to those presidents' actions during their presidency. Now, Trump is allegedly having committed crimes to get the presidency. So why aren't we at an indictment yet?
But hold on, let me let you answer that question, because Nixon was also trying to get the presidency. The Watergate break-in was during the re-elect. It was the committee to re-elect the president. So it was in an attempt to get the presidency, no?
Yeah, that's right. And so the DOJ manual says that a sitting president can't be indicted, but that's kind of like an employee's handbook. It's not really the law.
Exactly, it's not the law.
But Seema, hold on. So since you've been on the show, then Mueller has indicted 19 Russians for conspiring to throw the election to Donald Trump. Roger Stone, Michael Cohen, Paul Manafort has pled guilty. So there's a whole lot of evidence leading up to Trump. So hold on, the Mueller investigation isn't over yet.
Okay, A, Paul, I've missed you, and B, why aren't we there yet? Because like you're saying, all of these indictments are piling up. There is more and more evidence yet. So why aren't we at the target, Trump?
Well, let me go to Malcolm Nance on that, because here's the thing. And I mean, you lay out a very, clear-cut case in your book, in The Plot to Destroy Democracy, of why and what you think is going on, that Donald Trump has been cultivated really for a long time as an asset. And is the theory, in your view, Malcolm, that the lure to keep Trump in play as an asset is the idea of building the tower, that the tower is just the lure? Or could it be that all of this that we've been talking about for nigh on almost 3 years has just been a giant plot to build a tower in Moscow and to cultivate the relationships with Kremlin figures in order to get it done and make money. Could it be really that simple?
No. I mean, the lure was the tower. One of the many, many lures. When this is all broken out, you're going to find out that there were multiple legs in the Russian operation in how they were going to get at Trump, the Republican Party, through the NRA and the evangelicals, and now through, legislators who think going to Moscow on the 4th of July is a great thing, and Rand Paul being the personal courier between Trump and Vladimir Putin, and actually co-opting 1/3 of the mindset of the American public who refuse to believe anything that the news media them. This is a long ball game that the Russians have been playing. Donald Trump himself is the dupe. And he was a dupe from the very beginning, because that's the kind of person you need to do your bidding. But Trump is no longer an unwitting, asset, as we saw very early on. He is witting. He knows exactly what's going on. He figured out what Russia was doing for them. He, and I believe it will be proven, conspired with Russia, maybe indirectly, but he is very well aware of what's been happening. The only problem that he has is now that he is running smack into the guardrails of democracy on one hand and justice on the other hand. And that kind of accountability was never relied upon for him. He thought he would be the master of the universe, and when this was all over and done with, he could get away with anything, make deals with his friends in Moscow, get oligarch money, and transform America from a democracy to an autocracy. And he's failing at that, and that's why we're still talking about it 3 years later.
And Seema, what possible explanation, innocent explanation, could there be for Donald Trump, for instance, to hide the transcripts of his conversations with Vladimir Putin? And what would be the innocent explanation for Russia to so thoroughly attempt to infiltrate everything from the NRA to the Trump campaign to the Republican Party? What innocent explanations could there be for those things?
Joy, I don't think there is an innocent explanation. I do think there was a plot to hijack the presidency. My problem is with Mueller's actions, is this accumulation of evidence and indictments, and why doesn't he have the cojones to just start indicting the president? Because if there is some reliance on that DOJ policy, then take it to court. That is what the Supreme Court's for. They have never decided this issue. Maybe it's about time. What is the holdup?
Last word to you, Paul Butler.
I can answer that.
Okay, quickly. Answer it, Malcolm, because then I'm going to give Paul the last word. Go ahead, Malcolm.
It's very simple. You're talking about going after the president of the United States for potentially being an asset of a foreign government and have elected to the presidency on conspiracy with that foreign government. Look, when you come after the president, you take that shot, you best not miss.
Yeah, and then the last word to you on this, Paul, because that is, I guess, the question for a lot of Americans who've been following this with us for all these years, is does Mueller have to indict Trump in order to put the proper coda at the end of this long and endless symphony?
Mueller's not going to indict Trump because he's going to follow that DOJ employee handbook, but he has leverage over the president in terms of Donald Trump Jr. We've seen Mueller use people's kids to get to folks in the past. He could do this with Don Trump Jr. Trump Jr. went into the Senate Intelligence Committee, took an oath to tell the truth, and lied his butt off.
You think he'll get indicted?
If that's what Roger Stone and Michael Cohen get indicted for, lying to the Senate Intelligence Committee, if Trump Jr. lied, then he gets indicted too.
Well, the plot continues to thicken, so we're going to have all you back. This is one of our favorite trios, so we're going to have you guys come back. Welcome back, Seema. We've missed you very
Thank you.
much.
Missed you too.
Thank you, Paul Butler, Seema Iron, of course, Malcolm Nance, who we never let him have a weekend off. He really wants to sleep in. We're like, nope. Coming up, some vital information about your social media feed. This is important, and how to keep Russian bots and trolls out of it. Go get some coffee and come right back. That's next.